Hello and welcome to this videocast for subscribers to davidicke.com. Last week I was talking about something I've been writing about for a long time, what I refer to as the technologically generated sub-reality. And what I mean by that is a energetic field. You could think of it as a massive global cloud that is operating within the frequency band of human energetic mind and brain activity. And therefore, because of the frequency compatibility, that information source, that technologically generated information source, can be attached, connected to human thought and emotional processes, and thus feed information into the human individual and collective mind that dictates perceptions, thoughts, and emotions. Now, I know at first hearing, people will find that fantastic and ridiculous and, what else is on. But it's true. And I've been researching this a very long time. And to understand the depth of the human control system and where it is planned to go through what we call the transhumanist agenda, you have to open your mind to many things, and you have to go deep into the realms of the nature of reality. And this week I've had a long email from a gentleman called Dante Kalidas. And what he's saying here is that he has personal experience, personal knowledge of the sort of thing I'm talking about, although he gives it a different name. And I'll just read you some of the information from the email so you can see how in context it is with what I've been saying all these years about this technologically generated sub-reality designed to become the reality perception source of the human individual and collective mind. He says that he's already tried to get this out through the alternative media, but no one has touched it. And he says, so AI, artificial intelligence, and what I know and how I know it. I speak of the government's New World Order putting an astral net in place, David, for monitoring the masses all across the world. Now, that's a very good description of it, what I'm talking about with this technologically generated sub-reality, an astral net. Because for those who haven't come across the term astral, it is a term for a level of energetic reality that is beyond human sight, which is not saying much because, as I've pointed out many times, if you take what mainstream science says about the reality that we can actually visually experience, then the electromagnetic spectrum is 0.005%, some say a bit more but not much, of what mainstream science says exists in the entirety of what we call existence. Actually, it's far bigger than that. And therefore the frequency band of the electromagnetic spectrum is far smaller than even they're saying in relation to what actually exists. But when you think of that, 0.005% of what exists is the electromagnetic spectrum. This is mainstream science. And visible light, what science calls visible light, which is the only frequency band that we can decode into a reality we can see, is a fraction of the 0.005%. Now, when you consider those almost laughable um, statistics in relation to what we can perceive, then you can see that almost everything that exists in existence we can't see. But there are other levels which technology can pick up that are also affecting our perceptions of reality and our thoughts and emotions. Because, okay, I'm thinking now, okay? You can see the outward expression of those thoughts in my opinions. But what about the activity of thought? I'm thinking now. So, can you see what I'm thinking? No. Because that activity, that energetic activity, that electrical activity, is taking place on another level beyond human sight, where almost everything goes on. So this astral level is another level of reality that is beyond what we call the physical world. But because as I went into last week, the body is a holographic projection, like the whole of this reality we're experiencing, of energetic fields. It's at the energetic field level beyond human sight. Some people call it the auric field, but that's just one level of it. It's at that level that you can access the thought and emotional processes, which then become human perception and behavior. And this astral level is part of that energetic field beyond human sight. And so, through that astral level, you can access, on an energetic level, the human thought and emotional processes, and you can feed into those thought and emotional processes those thoughts and emotional responses that you choose. And if you do that, you are dictating the thoughts, perceptions, and emotions of either the individual you're targeting or a whole race of people, the whole human race, eventually. And thus you are controlling everyone and everything through that means. So this email goes on about the astral net. Think Minority Report, says the film, and you start to get the picture. Of course, the film is very off, as this will involve remote neuro monitoring and artificial intelligence, which is already used in conjunction with remote neural monitoring, or RNM. To begin with, what is commonly known as remote neural monitoring involves artificial intelligence. He goes on, Google stock is way up. You might remember in last week's videocast and in my books, I emphasize the absolutely crucial foundation role in all of this, the whole transhumanist agenda of Google. Google stock, he says, is way up because anyone on the inside knows that they are developing artificial intelligence and it is the future. If you are thinking longer than 20 years, people are thinking, that kind of period, well, it's way off, he says. And my estimate is based on how long this has been tested and obvious plans for the elite. Google will be huge. Anyone on the inside knows this. It is the future. The stocks are high priced for Google. And he goes on. There are thousands upon thousands of people dealing with remote neural monitoring across the world, thus an international agreement and conspiracy. Then we ask why. It is about mapping people's brainwaves, all of their thoughts and thinkings and feelings, a myriad of things here. It is all being collected by agents and agencies across the world. And with this technology and going into a central database. For what purpose? The fact that all peoples across the spectrum are being attacked and affected with this technology points to a collection of a wide spectrum of information in regards to thoughts and feelings of people, and all across the board and all across the world. They are collecting all possible thoughts and feelings, cataloguing these, and each of these has a numeric print number, which with this technology can be used for duplicating said feelings and thoughts. The numeric value given to these are identity prints for reduplicating with this technology and for knowing what is being viewed in the first place. And behind all of it, artificial intelligence does all of the organizing and work in regards to identifying what is being thought and felt. So in the simplest terms, you download thoughts and feelings, all of which have a particular frequency, and then you feed those frequencies back to the population, thus stimulating those same thoughts and emotions, and thus dictating the behavior and perceptions of the population. Because, as I have outlined in the books and did so in the videocast last week, that we are living in a holographic simulation, a holographic version of a, if you like, computer simulation, computer game, interactive, then these computer terms become very, very relevant to what is going on and how it's being done.